It's Monday. Welcome back to Cobalt Mood. I have our surprise guest, the Queen, waiting for her royal introduction. Dun 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 dun! It's Ellie! Ellie can't hear, but I still love her. And when I put her down, this sweet girl is probably gonna cough because acid reflux. Ellie is 16 years and 7 months old. Pugalicious. I was gonna see if she was gonna get some snorts in there. I don't know if she was having just nightmares last night, but she was whiny and barky. And of course, she can't hear her barks, but I can. That usually is a sign that she needs to go out or needs attention, one or the other. Took her out at 2 a.m. and she kept barking for the next 3 hours. I went in there a few times and I ended up putting a sound machine on. Her mom says she puts a sound machine on, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, she can't actually hear that. So why? But maybe she can hear at that certain frequency. I'm not sure. But anyways, I put on a sound machine, and then I had to basically put on a sound machine for myself, which was music playing in my room, because I could not drown out her barking. I was like, maybe it's a sleep training situation like with babies, where you just leave them alone and eventually they tire themselves out and go to sleep. I don't know if that happened because I definitely fell asleep and couldn't hear her anymore. But when I woke up about 3 hours later around 5 a.m., she was still going. So ended up just deciding like, F this. Took her out. She like immediately stopped barking and stopped whining once she was next to me. And I was like, oh my God, are you obsessed with me? I normally would just put, a dog like in my room, but she is sequestered to a room that doesn't have carpet because she is, old lady, sometimes needs to potty. And I have these like mats out that her mom gave me in case she does need to potty. That's why she's in her own room. Yeah, so we got up at 5 a.m. She immediately stopped crying. I gave her the option of going outside. Usually she's like running to go outside. And no, she didn't care. She just like got on another bed that was in the living room and just passed out. And I'm like, really? The positive part of this is that because it was like 5:30 in the morning, I was able to join my morning call and kind of start my day after that. I was telling you guys that my books were selling, but not really like at the speed of which I wanted. They were all originally priced at $8 with best offer turned on, and I was getting some sales. But I ended up deciding to move all of them to $5, and I turned off best offer. And that way, I don't have to deal with the extra admin that comes with such a low dollar amount, which is probably going to be like people messaging me or trying to make me $2 offers on a $5 item. So I just kind of like nixed that, and I was like, it is what it is, take it or leave it. And like, rest in peace, all of the booksellers on eBay right now, because I am undercutting them by a mile. It's just temporary. Like I still plan on removing everything April 1st. So of the weekend sales, I ended up having 19 orders, which is awesome. That's the most I've ever gotten in a weekend. It was satisfying because I was starting to purge, my inventory in books and DVDs and CDs. I also had a few pen orders, but then my plush, which is the category I want to be in, were still selling above my metric of 40 ASP. Some of the items were things that I kind of took a chance on. Like, I thought they were kind of funny. For example, Squishables has modern day tags, which are often like paper, and then it has these ones that are embroidered. One of them has like this cute fat corgi on it, like a kind of a cartoon character. And then the one that's dated, I believe, is this like gray, fat, wide tag, and it has these like blue dots around the edge. And a lot of those are marked with Soho, New York, which is, I believe, where it was sold originally. Anyway, so the one I sold, this person paid $40 for plush that's like about this wide, maybe this thick, and it was a gigantic slice of key lime pie. It had like the lime on top, it had a, you know, cute little smiley face, no arms or legs. It was just so cute, and there wasn't that many listed that I was like, let me just take a chance on it, see what happens. And yeah, somebody bought it, $40 plus $12 shipping. I just thought that was amazing. When I was wrapping it, I was thinking, I knew somebody would want this pie slice. And there's just something validating about, like, I guess, I don't know if it's like my eye is there for quirky things, or if my eye has kind of tuned in since I've been working on this, building, you know, my plush empire. It's gotten better, but yeah, that was pretty satisfying. And then I had a few other plush orders come through as well. Yeah, and they were, again, all above my original metrics, so it just felt really good. And I'm excited for this next chapter of being able to remove these niches that I no longer want to sell in, frankly. And, you know, the margin of my plush is so high and the sell through so short. I'm just like, this is very obviously beating out my other categories. Like, technically speaking, I have more pins listed currently than I have plush, but my pins are such slow movers. As you can see now, I'm down to 2 drawers out of my like 12. So I that's another category. Like, I'm kind of torn. Like, I don't know if I want to pick up the occasional pin collection and then just have it as like bonus extra cash sprinkled in. I mean, I've gotten that system down. They don't take up a lot of room, but it does distract me, like, from finding this like awesome plush inventory, right? I was talking to ChatGPT about this weekend. They were basically just telling me, like, this is all just about where your energy is going. I just have some things I need to think through. So yeah, I'm feeling really good about my trajectory. And another thing I'm thinking through, which I'm going to bring to today's toy call, is I'm actually thinking about raising my metric. So there was a call I had with them about a month ago, and all the calls are recorded. So I was looking for the call to hear the feedback again. And in that call, I basically was trying to figure out how many I should be listing based off of my skill level. And the basic consensus was, you know, do what your business can afford, figure out where you want to go in terms of like how much you want to pull from eBay, like money wise, work backwards. And then ultimately, like, I think the guy who like leads the call was like, you just need more data. You just need to go out there, you know, 30, 45 days, trying to get 8 a day, see if you can hit 8 a day. If you get under that, that's okay. But just see what your average is, and then also see like how many of those are meeting your metric. Little does he know, like, person of their word is I. So like, I said 8 and that is what I hit. I said over 40 and that is what I hit. For like, I would say like maybe 95% was above. And then a few scragglers, which, as you know, like, I just list as bonus. And then this month, you know, my goal is 8 minimum a day. And I have already started listing over that because I bought a few collections. And so those I'm listing on top of my 8. So I was looking at the numbers before I started today's call, and I'm actually at like an average of 11. So yeah. Okay, so with the 8, I'm feeling like I want to go up. Like, instead of my minimum ASP being 40, I want to head towards like 60. My ASP is a little bit skewed right now because pens might be like $7 to $12 each, whereas my plush is $40 plus, and then my books are like $12. Well, currently they're all $5. So like all of these lower sales are going to bring down my metric. So my average right now in the store is actually $35 ASP. And with that, each sale after all of the fees and cost of goods getting taken out, on average, I'm making about $15 per item. And I know you can probably build a beautiful business off of $15 an item, but I just want more for myself. And 8, I'm going to stick with. I feel like it's just enough of a challenge. But I would love to see how I could expand with keeping 8, but just like getting more profit per item. So I basically want to bring this to the toy call because I am a dreamer. And when I told them my ASP was $40 and I was 2 months into this, they were like, I mean, go for it, but that sounds really high. And I want to stay, I think, in that sounds crazy. Because I feel like that it will be my differentiator as a newbie, is I might not have the store size to get me whatever they're getting, 30 sales a day, but I might be profiting $40 an item. And, you know, they might be profiting $8 an item. So I just kind of want to see what they say. I mean, ultimately, guys, I'm going to do what I want to at the end of the day. I've always operated in this way. So I get everyone's feedback and then I do whatever I want to. So I'm thinking of 60 being kind of my end goal. I have a feeling they're going to be like, maybe do 45 or 50. And I just feel like that's weak. What I would love to happen is like maybe my minimum is like 55. And that way, you know, when I pick up ones that don't hit 50, they will guaranteed hit 40, right? Because my goal is 50. I did the math this weekend on like what my store looks like. That's how I know that I actually have more pins listed than I do plush. But I went ahead and like insert into ChatGPT like my numbers for like dollar amounts for plush. It was like 48% was in that $40 to $50 range. And then every like $10 above that was like, you know, I think it went from like 32, 16, and like the top ones that were like, you know, over 200, I think I only had like 7 listed. So, I know it's a balance between like what the market can afford, but I am, you know, selling to collectors, and that kind of crosses into a want, not a need. But I don't know. I just my intuition wants to push it. So my gut is saying if I raise my metric, I'll be more picky. I will potentially make more per item. I'm still going to be spending the exact same. Because I'm still going to go to the same sources. It might get a bit hairy when it comes to finding enough stock that week, but I'm thinking of moving to 50 or 60 as my minimum because next month I'm only booked currently 2 weeks of 4 weeks. So I'm going to have a lot more time. Like I have the first and the third week completely open, which means like I could actually source every day if I want to, which means I could go to different zones every day. I have 4 potential zones I can hit. That's just thrifts. Garage sales are starting to happen. Now that I have brand knowledge, I feel more confident to do that. I have barely even scraped the surface of Facebook arbitrage. That's another avenue. So it's interesting that in these just 30 days of me feeling like, I don't know if I can do 8 a day, or like, I don't know if it's reasonable. I've just totally moved past that mentally. I just get it. It's locked in. I've done the reps. It's paying off. Now I'm just like, let's keep going. So yeah, a lot to think on, but I just want to share with you guys just that progress. Even just being able to say that out loud and feel like totally confident in saying that, I'm just like, satisfying. process. Like, we are moving in the right direction, and I feel like I have a business, and that's really exciting. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.